Hello and welcome to another episode of Inside My Showroom. It's myself, Omar, and my buddy Chris. How are you, man?
Good, man. What's going on, everybody? It's been a long time.
We are definitely long overdue for a video. Sorry about that. End of 2016, early 2017 has just been absolutely busy for both myself and Chris. I've just been busy with like the home and, kids going back to school, all that stuff, the business. And Chris got a new job. How are you doing with that?
It's good, man. Actually, I started working security at a law school, and it's awesome. I get paid to sit there, to sit there and be on my phone.
All right, sounds
And
good, man.
obviously, I have other duties, but it's good, man.
That's a dream job, right?
For some, yeah.
All right, so here we have, we're just jumping right into it. Short introduction. We have so much to recap here, and that's why we just decided to jump right into the video rather than wasting much time on the introduction like we normally do. So 2016 was, a great end of year. And 2017 was a great start to the year. I saw that we had a Sideshow feature collector right on my screen. And I was asking Chris if he knows who this is. He's like, yeah, some bum. Uh, he,
Oh my gosh, you're terrible, bro. I didn't even say that.
you actually did. You actually did.
Oh my god, do not give these people the wrong impression on
You remember I was like, yo, man, I want to look like this again. I got to get back in shape. That's my resolution, New Year's resolution. And you're like, what, a bum? Don't deny it, man.
me. Oh man, that's good stuff.
Yeah, guys. So it was definitely a great start of year, 2017 for me. I was actually hand selected by Sideshow as their first featured collector of 2017. It was a great end of year for Chris, my buddy. He actually won the Pop Culture Shock Life Size He-Man bus, which we just want to thank everybody again for the love and support. We did an unboxing of that, so be sure to check it out, where Chris is wearing the awesome hair of He-Man and taking on the powers and transformation of Castle Grayskull.
Oh man, yeah
Okay.
man. Big shout out to Omar for getting a featured collector, and yo, shout out to Frank from Facebook for even making us aware of this, because it would have completely went over me and Omar's head had Frank not messaged us on Facebook. So shout out to you, man, and congrats to you, bro, for getting featured collector. You deserved it.
Thank you, man. So I think the email actually came in from Sideshow. It's kind of a little bit like, wait, I'm feature collector, and Sideshow didn't even email me, let me know anything. The email actually came in a few days later. I think,
Oh, gotcha. Okay, okay.
so I did end up finding out through email, but I found out much faster from Frank, who obviously must be checking out Sideshow's blog, which is what a true collector should be doing. Um, so I don't know where should we start here? Like, just kind of recap this thing. Here is my collection that I actually submitted to Sideshow. We don't win anything, being the featured collector, but it's just nice. It's kind of like it's gonna be there forever on Sideshow's site, and Sideshow is a leader of like the whole statues, like pretty much worldwide. So being able to be featured on there, I had like people from like Japan, I had people from Thailand, um, pretty much all over the world actually just, messaging me on Facebook and congratulating me. And it was a lot of love, man. I felt really good. No regrets being Sideshow feature collector. It doesn't matter how big your collection is, how small it is. Even if you're not feeling confident about the collection, I think Sideshow is amazing. They pick like all sorts of collections. So don't ever think that your collection is like too much or too small, that sort of thing. Send it out there. Lo and behold, you might just get selected as the featured collector. So
Yeah, absolutely.
here's some pictures I'm just gonna go through quickly. They're a little bit small, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on on these photos. I'm actually going to go through it again later in higher resolution, but I just wanted to show what it looks like on the Sideshow blog. And any of you guys who want to check it out, you can go to sideshowtoy.com/blog and select featured collectors. We'll definitely also include a link in the description of this video, so you guys be sure to check it out. And you could just read like my little history that I have here on this collection. Okay, so we are going to be starting off the photos by having a little bit of fun here. We have, you know, my cat sitting in front of this this collection here, and we just want to throw this out to you guys. Caption this photo. Just, you know, write a caption in the description. What do you think the cat is saying here? What do you think that this photo should be called? Just caption it. We just want to see your funny remarks. You know, your amazing. Make us laugh, you know? What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, man. Let us know what you guys would caption that photo. It's funny, actually, because Omar had sent me this photo a couple days ago, and later on that day, we were like discussing our next video, and the PCS Vegas statue popped up, and he's like, yeah, we could review that piece. You know, I haven't even looked at it. I haven't even like taken a really close look at it since I got it, and I was like, yeah, right, bro. You probably got up at 10 o'clock this morning and you was looking at it like this, and I sent him this picture. It was funny. It was a good laugh.
Okay, so to be honest, I really didn't look at it just because of the fact that I unboxed it. I tried not to like go into the detail of looking at it too much and that sort of thing, because I just wanted to save it for the video. I wanted to save like my reaction, my expression, what I think of it. So I really didn't take it in too much. And you know, I'm just gonna quickly caption this photo, what I think is going on here. And you can come back to it, Chris, if you need a little bit of time to think, or, you know, you're pretty quick-witted. You might be able to pull something off the top of your head really quickly. But I think that the cat is actually looking at Phoenix at the back there and just being like, I want that bird. I want some of that bird to eat, man.
That's a good one. You know what I think she's looking at? I think she's looking at Catwoman at the bottom, right? That's probably, she's like, damn, girl, you doing it big.
All right. All right, so there's two great captions. You know, feel free, you guys, when you stumble upon this video, whether you watch it like pretty much when we upload it or years to come, we do check our comments, and we would love to laugh, you know, whether it be now, years from now, that sort of thing. We read every single one of your comments. Okay, so have fun with it.
Yeah, and also just to put it out there, Omar said he didn't check out the Vegas statue. He just unboxed it with a pair of binoculars and a magnifying glass. That's it. That was all.
Okay, so you're telling me that you don't know how to blur your eyes. Are you telling me that, Chris?
I don't know how to blur my eyes. Are you seriously telling me that you unboxed that while you were squinting, bro?
I was squinting, man. I was squinting.
Yo, that's funny. Yo. I wish I could have been there watching that.
Okay, so in a little bit more detail here is some close-ups of my collection. I got the X-Men on the top left here of my collection. I just tried to sort it the best that I can. Cyclops, Phoenix XM, Jean Grey, Storm. The Storm is actually the Sideshow exclusive version. There's ones where you can actually see her eyeballs, and that's the regular version. But I actually like this one because it looks like she is, you know, actually calling on the Storm. She's calling on the, you know, like she's actually in battle here.
But she has the white peoples?
Yes, yes.
Nice.
So it actually looks like she's, you know, she's actually doing something here. And this is why I really wanted this one in my collection. The regular just wasn't doing it for me. Juggernaut, that's a custom at the back there. My favorite Marvel villain is Juggernaut. So that's a very, very memorable piece to me. It means a lot. Beautifully sculpted, beautifully painted,
Who
lots
makes
of great
that?
detail. It's Halima.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. So it's beautiful, man, and just the size of it, it's a gigantic piece. Like pretty much look at it compared to Phoenix, and Phoenix is like basically the size of like a 1/3 scale statue. Even though it's a quarter scale, I still classify it as 1/3 with the wings at the back and all that sort of stuff. So Juggernaut is a huge, massive piece, and you see that red base back there? That's
Yeah.
all
Oh, it's
his
because it
base.
matches.
Yeah, but it matches. It matches like all the sideshow stuff. He's actually standing on a base where the base is cracked.
Oh,
So it's
nice.
like a half a base, and that's just Juggernaut, man. Anything he comes in contact with, it's smashed, it's destroyed. So I love the fact that they gave it like a cracked look on the base, and they also like smashed it in half as well.
Nice.
So can't have Juggernaut without Colossus. Emma Frost, I don't know, man. That's why she's at the front there, you guys, in all her glory.
This guy's just perfect.
Whew.
My God.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. That statue just is all that, man. Gambit. You know what? That was an early 2016 for me. I got that in 2016. I just realized that. Paid a pretty damn penny for that. Very, very, very hard to find statue out there nowadays. I would love to see them like do something new. He's Gambit, man. Sideshow needs to hit up something new, or XM or somebody.
Yeah, man. Ah, man. Somebody needs to hit up the X-Men in general.
Rogue. Okay, so there's the regular version and the exclusive version. The exclusive version goes kind of like a more realistic face. I grew up with like the 1990s cartoon of X-Men, and I really love this Rogue animated face. I didn't want the exclusive version. It wasn't worth it to me. A lot of exclusive pieces, I like the exclusive head, and I actually display it with the exclusive head, but this one I would never display it, so there was no point in getting the exclusive version for me. Other people, they love the exclusive and that sort of thing. This just reminds me a lot of the 1990s cartoon, and I could just hear her accent. And she's like, "Hey, sugar." So every time I see this video, this picture, this statue, I have no regrets with it. Psylocke, also the regular edition. There's some people who swear by the exclusive. They would not display it unless it's the exclusive. I actually love the beautiful hair flow. Some people who know Psylocke from the comics, they're like, sorry, we only accept her as having her hair tied up. There is no other Psylocke to us. I'm going more for like a beauty approach, and I'm just like a sucker for long hair, so that's why definitely I displayed Psylocke like this. And the Jean Grey as well at the back there. She also has like the long flowing hair. I have the exclusive of Jean Grey, but I want like the long flowing hair. Scarlet Witch, another beautiful statue, all her assets, all her glory. Yeah, I'm actually talking about Vision. It's just hanging out there. What a vision indeed. Beautiful, happy statue, lots of fun. And then we move on to Mystique at the front. And that's actually a 2016. I actually moved in the summer, and this actually arrived 1 week before the move, so it was actually cutting it very close. I was wondering, am I going to have to move without getting this statue in hand? So this was actually the last statue that I received in my old home.
Nice.
So it's great to have her as part of the X-Men there. I really can't picture the X-Men without Mystique. And then Wolverine XM. I know a lot of people have like their choice of which statue they like for Wolverine and that sort of thing. This is my piece right here, and we actually reviewed this right? So
Yeah.
there's just so many swap out pieces. It just reminds me of the 1990s animated series, and I feel that it reflects that very well.
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite Wolverine pieces. You know, it's like really classic. You know, he's sporting the classic costume, but then there's this like modern feel with all the details they put,
Yeah.
like all the texturing, all the stitch work. It looks really good, though.
If you look at my collection here, though, pretty much all of these pieces are what I grew up with in the 1990s.
Yeah, man.
You know, so there's other styles of Wolverine, like there's the half scale, all different sorts of stuff. But this is what fit my collection very well. Even like, the Cyclops back there where he's ripping off the shades and ready to. That actually lights up, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, you could just like press a button on the base and his eyes light up. So if you're like looking at it in the dark, it looks like he's just ready to blast. And also on that base of the Cyclops statue at the back, which isn't really showing the way I have it posed, but it actually has Magneto's helmet.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Dope.
All right, let's move along. Kotobukiya at the bottom here. So that thing about Chris saying that, Omar is a perv sort of thing. I don't know. There might be some evidence of that here.
You haven't seen nothing, guys.
There might be some evidence of that. So these are like from the Bishoujo line, where it's basically like young, beautiful women. I have like pretty much the whole collection here. Very nicely detailed. I'm just so in love with Kotobukiya's work. I actually wanted to convert my collection to, the large size statues only, but I'm just having a hard time parting with these pieces. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that, so I might just have to like kind of just get like a glass cabinet for these ones only. At the back there is the mini bus. Excuse me. Yeah, it's the mini bus that I have at the back right corner. So like there's Superman, Green Lantern, Aquaman, just like a whole bunch of women from the DC, women of the DC Universe bus. I used to actually have all of those, but it's something that I kind of moved away from. I'm not really into the bus. When I first started collecting, it was all about just like mini buses, Marvel, DC, everything. And I pretty much parted with almost all of them, and there's still some to go. But for now, these are just being displayed. You have any comments?
You're sick, bro. That's all I got to say.
All right, we've confirmed that in previous videos. All right, so there's some reassurance there. Okay, so as much as the Trinity is at the front here, I'm just gonna start off at the back left with Hot Toys, Joker and Batman from the 1989 series. This is DX series from Hot Toys. At the front left, we have like a little Catwoman maquette. This is
the animated series, huh?
Yes, it is.
That's awesome.
And just at the back of Power Girl, we have Batman and Robin from the animated series. Behind Superman, we have Superman from the animated series. So yeah, I'm kind of representing a lot of what I grew up with in my collection. I don't just have, for the most part, I don't have pieces that I just liked and I know nothing about them. It's mostly stuff that meant something to me that's part of my collection. I used to be a huge snow globe collector. My actual first collectible piece that I can really say as an adult collector was the Superman snow globe. So you could see at the front here that we have, right beside Power Girl, we have the Justice League snow globe, which Green Lantern makes it look like he put them in an orb and he's carrying them through outer space, like Batman, Wonder Woman, that sort of stuff. So that's a pretty creative snow globe.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch on every piece here, but yeah, at the bottom I pretty much tried to have like a DC section of like pretty much all DC stuff. So the top was Marvel and the bottom is DC.
It's looking good. The Trinity looks awesome.
You know what? There's so many like alternate pieces that you can get. Like instead of this Batman, you could put in a different Batman. But this is pretty much how Sideshow wanted the Trinity to look like, and they actually had brought out like, art prints and that sort of thing, and
Yeah.
a lot of people actually purchase the art prints and they have it on display behind these statues and that sort of thing. My showroom is pretty much statues only, so there's not really going to be any art prints back here. Okay, so this is the Gotham Vixens. Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Catwoman are the Vixens of Gotham, and then we have the Protector of Gotham, which is Batgirl. So I just want to point out that to the right of Catwoman, I have my two favorite snow globes in my entire collection. There is the Batman snow globe. To any of you who are familiar with that, you know this is an awesome piece. It is a Dark Winter's Night, spelled Knight. So it's actually playing on the word night. So a dark winter's night, and he's actually standing in front of his parents' grave. So if you shake the snow globe, you have snow falling on Batman and his parents' grave. So he's actually standing there, very cold, eerie feeling. But this snow globe, in my opinion, Chris, I can't tell you, man. This is Batman. It explains everything, his character, everything, what Batman is.
You never showed me that snow globe. You gotta show it to me one time.
It's absolutely amazing. It's so hard to come across. Like, it originally retailed at like $89. If you go looking for it now, you can spend anywhere from like, I don't know. I would like to say the average price for it is $300 to $500.
Wow.
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah. So, to the right of that is actually the first piece that I ever collected. It's Superman in his Fortress of Solitude. He looks like he's kind of at peace. He's kind of listening to everything that's happening, and he's ready to just fly out of there. So the base is actually in the shape of his fortress, and if you shake that as well, it's kind of like, the snow from the fortress, because obviously it's up in like that whole like North Pole or whatever you want to call it, where it's really cold, and that just kind of falls on him. So I really like the fact that these snow globes actually have a reason for why the snow is falling. So here we have like, the two DC mascots, Superman and Batman, just, represented in these snow globes. I love them, man. I love them. I can never sell them. I rather actually part with anything else in my collection other than these two and Doom, because this is where it all started for me, man.
I hear you.
So, I don't know if it's a rumor, and, maybe we can come back and look at this video later on in the future, but I'm hearing that the Suicide Squad movie is actually getting a spin-off movie, where they're actually going to be doing, like, the Vixens of Gotham City. So, originally they were stating that they wanted to have, a Harley Quinn movie, just because, she did such a great job, people are saying. But now it's actually kind of turned into, well, how much can we actually base a movie on Harley Quinn? So they're deciding to throw Poison Ivy and Catwoman into it. Whether these are just rumors or speculation, I'm not sure, but there definitely is talk about this. And, I'm just really happy to be having, these three statues in my collection, if that's indeed what they're actually going to be doing.
Nice.
And I just want to point out that Poison Ivy is, I don't know. Yeah, well, I'll just leave it at that. She was definitely a hard find, though. It was hard to find her. Okay, so here we're going back up to the top. We have Marvel Collection, XM Sandman, one of my favorite pieces. This thing is just monstrous. It took up basically like almost half this shelf. Look at that, man.
I know. That's nuts, bro. I saw one at New York Comic Con, and it's Pictures don't do justice as to how big it is.
Yeah. When I actually pulled this Sandman out of my collection, I actually thought that someone had molded my hand and used it as like Sandman's hand. Like that's how huge it is.
Damn.
And like when I held my hand next to it, I actually just it just looks so much like as if they had sculpted my hand there.
Wow.
So we have Mary Jane at the front, absolutely beautiful piece. We have Black Cat with the safe. That was actually that came in at the same time as the Spider-Man premium format there. So I pretty much got those two almost simultaneously. That was almost like at the end when I was moving out of my home as well. So some people are probably like, wait, why is Hulk like that? I can't see him. But when you're standing outside of my showroom, you can actually see things from different angles. And that's kind of what I went for. I didn't want everything to be seen at one shot. I want people to actually have to stand outside my showroom and just look. And like, I don't want things to just be seen at a quick second. So, people actually have come to, see my showroom and they're there for a long time. You can literally stand there for about an hour just admiring everything. Deadpool, that's the only Deadpool to me where he's choking the chicken. I would not go for the regular edition. I rather like save up and just go for this. It's not Deadpool unless he has his chicken. And then we have Thanos at the back there, XM. Lady Death, which is his wife. Punisher premium format. As much as the comic head is my favorite out of the whole Punisher thing, he's the premium format to me. I just think that he blends in so well in my collection, and I just have him kind of pose right beside Deadpool. I think they just look so fantastic together. And then I have Galactus at the back there, a piece that I've wanted for a very, very, very long time. I couldn't justify spending that kind of money on it, so it took me a very long time to make that decision. But I'm happy to finally have him in my collection. And he actually comes out with swap out pieces. Like you can have him with, I forget what that Fire Girl's name is. It's on the tip of my tongue, but it's not coming to me. Yeah, okay, we'll come back to that later. So you could swap her out and put Silver Surfer. And since I already have Silver Surfer there, I decided not to do it that way. And
is that then, like a Bowen Silver Surfer right there?
Yes, it is, and it's actually the Chrome edition. So this is a piece that I had in my collection when I actually started first collecting, and then I decided, you know what, I'm actually moving, and I prefer to have the money back in my possession. So I sold it at a profit, and it's a piece that I actually really missed.
Yeah, man. When I first started collecting, I was kind of just doing research on things that I could collect and all the different sort of companies. Silver Surfer was one of the first things I saw, and I was so close to buying it. Looks great.
Yeah, it's actually a very expensive piece to get, but I think they were stating that there's this Silver Surfer and then there's a Magneto one, which are very rare.
Right.
So the Magneto one actually looks pretty good. So you know what? It was on the tip of my tongue that her name was Nova, and I kept on wanting to say that, but then when you think about Nova, you think about that guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. Right, and that's why I didn't want to say that and be incorrect. But yes, it was Nova that was on my on the tip of my tongue all the time. So let's move along here. Just a different side piece where you can actually see Hulk.
I think that's my favorite shelf. The X-Men shelf on the left is sick too, but that right side Marvel shelf is probably my favorite.
Okay, so what I didn't get to show you guys in the X-Men picture was Magneto close to them, but if you can kind of picture that, okay, where Cyclops was, that Magneto is indeed beside him. I actually have this area boxed and lighted, so that my two grails can actually just have their own area, which is like they're in the collection, but then they have like their own like throne area. They have their own I don't know, their own spot to just kind of stand out. So these are my two grails, Doctor Doom on throne and Magneto. We definitely are going to be hitting up a review of that statue later on. That was actually supposed to be done since 2016, but we actually never got around to it. So that's a Sideshow Doom on the right and XM Magneto on the left. Any comments, Chris?
Are those I don't know, those lion things sitting next to Doom? Does that come with the statue?
No, that's actually just something that I found, and I was supposed to make like a shrine to Doom, but then I ended up going this approach. So I don't know. I just think it looks. I'm a huge fan of like the Roman lions. So if I can have like Roman lions outside my home, I would do it. But yeah, there's another boss involved, so that's not happening.
Cool, it complements the statue. It's sick.
Okay, so we have here a wall dedicated just to my Dragon Ball Irwin toys, action figures. So I grew up with Dragon Ball, guys. It was a huge impact on my life. Got me through some very boring times when, video games just aren't as good as they are now. Anime, cartoons, it's a big part of what I had growing up. And I have been going to Comic-Cons for quite some time now, and I've met a lot of the voice actors and actresses. And it's just really nice to have these pieces and be like, oh, the voice of Goku is going to be at Comic-Con, or the voice of Android 18 is going to be at Comic-Con. And I actually get to take like these pieces and get them signed and that sort of thing. So yeah, these are very memorable to me. These are very important. A lot of them are signed. And I've had the chance of meeting a lot of the voice actors and actresses. So these are something that have been in my collection for a very long time. Here we have mostly Masters of the Universe. We have a shelf just dedicated to Disney itself. My daughter just loves Disney. I love the movies myself. We sit down, as a family and watch these movies and that sort of thing. So I just wanted to give a tribute to Disney itself and just kind of have like something in my collection that she can enjoy a lot. And
it's funny. The other day, some random. I came home from work at like 12, and I went on Netflix and I threw on Tarzan, and I watched that, and then I fell asleep. It was completely random, but it's such a good movie.
So did you wake up screaming like him, or dreaming like him, like that you were like screaming the Tarzan call? So my collection here. This is actually like a photo from 2016, but where Tomb Raider is and where Tila is, I actually swapped that out with the Sideshow He-Man and Sideshow Skeletor, the 1/5 scale. So Tila has actually moved up a shelf, and so it actually looks better to me now in my opinion. But this is an old photo, so I definitely need to update this picture. So running along basically the ceiling of this entire level of the home is action figures throughout. So I decided to just kind of utilize as much space as possible. So there are a lot of action figures just run everywhere. And Chris, just to show you here in the left corner, I don't know if you can see this, but this is DC versus Masters of the Universe. Have you ever seen those figures?
Yeah, it's like Lex Luthor and Skeletor, Superman, He-Man.
Yeah, and I have like the whole collection of them. I thought that was like a pretty awesome thing that they did. Especially that like I was a huge DC fan back then. So it was just nice to get to see that Masters of the Universe actually made their way to DC. I know they had a comic based on it, but the fact that they decided to do that as collectibles, that's awesome. So here is my anime section. I really wish that my anime section could be a whole lot bigger. I'm a huge fan of anime, but at the same time, it's just, I gotta kind of choose which direction I'm gonna go with my collection, and I kind of just decided, what, Marvel and DC is the way to go. It's just that there's too much anime. There's too much, and it just, I don't know, sorting it wouldn't be the best. I love watching all different types of anime. Like, I kind of just try to keep up with, okay, these 20 series came out in 2016. I'm gonna watch them all. And then if I had to do that, I would just have like an endless collection of things that just are not organized together. So I have a small little section here of things that mean a lot to me, animes that I really liked a lot. So I kind of just chose the best in my opinion and decided to have a collection of it here. All right, Chris, I've been talking a lot. You know a lot about this, so I'm going to give you the floor for a bit.
I do not know a lot about this, you liar. You know for damn well I don't know crap about Street Fighter, but what I do know for a 100% facto mundo is that this is probably one of the best Street Fighter collections I have ever seen. No doubt about it. I mean, yeah, it has the pinball machine. He has rare artwork. He has like the entire line of PCS Street Fighter statues. I know somewhere he has like, what is it? Like a arcade system Street Fighter.
Yes, I have a 4-player arcade cabinet,
Yes.
custom made of Street Fighter, Marvel versus Street Fighter. And here I actually have a full life-size pinball Street Fighter game. I believe this is from 1992. This is like what people grew up playing in the actual arcade. And there's times where I would just love to like take my Street Fighter collection, put it in my showroom just because there's so much of it, and I can't. Like, it just belongs beside the pinball machine. To the right of it is actually an art print. I believe it was limited to only 40 worldwide, and it's actually official by Capcom. So I was fortunate enough to get an art print, an AP, from the company that released it. So this is an official release, Capcom stamped and approved.
I remember when you got that. Yeah, you were so hyped.
Yeah.
Let me let's try something here, because I really do suck. I had no prior knowledge of Street Fighter before I started collecting. Literally, like, a lot of the stuff I know, it's either from you, like telling me all the stories, or just like stuff that I see, in the forums or in the groups. So I'm gonna try and attempt to name all these characters.
Oh my goodness, are you serious? You're very...
I'm kind of confident, yo. That's how much I be on Facebook looking at the statue community.
You're brave, man. Okay, so where do you want to do any of these top ones, or we talk about in glass?
I'm gonna start from the bottom right, just because I feel like I'm gonna have the most success starting from there. So bottom right. Oh my gosh, I saw her at Comic-Con. Oh my god, yo, I literally just had Cammy.
I was about, you know what? I was about to like Photoshop a fail, FAIL, right over this video. We need like some special effects here. I was like, this guy's like asking to like call out the figures here. I wouldn't do that to you, man, but like, you asked to start at the bottom right and then you didn't remember.
That was a complete right.
Oh my god, I hope you guys had a good laugh at that. The viewers who are watching this, I hope you guys had a great laugh.
Oh man. Okay, so we have Cammy, Bison, Guile, Ken. This guy is gonna give me a little bit of trouble. It starts with a G, no?
Yes, it does.
Is it like Golcan or something?
Yes, you got it. Oh my goodness.
Oh
Awesome. Awesome. I thought you were going to say like Goku or something.
I'll be honest with you, I can't see her, so I'm gonna pretend I don't see her because I kind of can't. So.
Okay, for the people that are watching, that's Ibuki, and it is a custom made statue.
Okay, so good. I never knew about that, and I don't know who that is. I'll be honest with you.
Okay, so this is Sakura, or some people say Sakura. So she is basically a disciple of Ryu. She wants to follow in Ryu's footsteps. Ryu is the traveler and wanderer of the world, always looking for his next match. And Sakura goes in a hunt for him. She goes like traveling, trying to track this guy down, try to find him and learn from him. And she's like, please, be my teacher. Please just fight with me. And he throws down his bag and he shows her the respect and actually decides to like have a one-on-one match with her. Absolutely beautiful storyline. There was a time where I actually just played with Ryu, played as Ryu and played as Sakura. Like, I just love their storyline together, man.
Nice. I think I actually remember you telling me about that. Okay. We have Chun-Li. Oh crap. Sagat.
Yeah.
Balrog. Ryu. Is that Jerry?
Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh, I'm an animal.
You're awesome.
I don't know who that is though.
Okay, so this is Rose. And this chick here actually gave Bison his powers.
Oh wow.
According to the game.
Isn't he like one of the most powerful ones?
Yes. So she was looking to like kind of give the powers to, and then I believe it was in Street Fighter 4, her storyline was trying to get the powers back, stating that he abused them and that they were really meant for Ryu.
Oh wow. So is she like bad?
No, she's actually good, but she's kind of like a fortune teller. She's kind of like, into that whole like psychic stuff and that sort of thing. So she's pretty awesome.
I'll be honest with you, man. Does it start with an O?
No, that's Oro, the other guy. This guy, you know this guy. I'll give you a clue. It begins with a D.
Oh, this one, or this something like
Dalsum.
Dalsum.
Yeah. Okay, just to clarify for you guys, Chris does know who he is. I think he's just having a moment here. He's actually talked to me many times about Dalsum. When I talked to him about Oro, he's actually like, "Is it that Dalsum guy?" I'm like, "No, Oro's somebody else." So
that's right.
Yeah.
Shiitake mushrooms. I really don't know. I don't know, man. That kind of looks a little bit like Guile from here. I know that's not him.
Yeah.
But it kind of looks like it.
Okay, so this is Adon, and he is actually a student of Sagat.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's Adon. Yeah, I don't know her either.
Okay, so that's Sea Viper. She is actually kind of like an agent of Shadowlaw. Like, she's kind of like an independent agent, but she seems to end up getting like work from Shadowlaw a lot.
Ryu, and to finish it off, we got the big boy E Honda.
Nice. You did good, man. You did good. Let's give this guy a round of applause, man.
Yeah. Yo, that's good, man. Come on. I had no. Yo, that's how you know. I'm really involved in the statue.
You self-taught, man. Self-taught.
It's funny though. Like, I can understand Marvel and DC like being like the major like lines in people's collections, but Street Fighter would have never been one of my top guesses as like one of the lines that so many people would love and would collect.
And I don't want to spoil anything here. I don't want any spoilers for later on in our video, but Chris is actually getting into the Street Fighter, and he
Mm.
had no knowledge of it. But we'll talk about that later.
Yes.
And I just want to point out that I'm very proud of you for that, man.
Thank you. Thank
Okay, so here we have some samurai swords. This is actually from my anime history that I've had. I'm not going to go into that too much, but I love how this is displayed. And then there is my Kratos on throne. This actually had um, a lot of like second guessing and that sort of thing. Like, is this what I want in my collection? That sort of thing. But come on, man, he is like the whole reason why I even play PlayStation. So
you. Yeah, I remember when you had like second thoughts, especially with the shipping. I know shipping on this bad boy was pretty costly.
you know what? I'm pretty sure that this cost me double what it would cost anybody else. I got slammed with customs, bro. I got slammed. I still feel violated up till now. Okay, so here are my Masters of the Universe vintage collection. I actually grew up with these figures above the TV and to the side of the TV. I actually grew up with it. To the very left wall, those are Disney Infinity collectibles. Like those are basically what my son uses to play his games. And there's some Skylanders there. On the wall is actually the He-Man Power Sword, She-Ra Power Sword, tribute to Masters of the Universe. I just thought it's absolutely amazing that this is just a wall basically for Masters of the Universe. And to have like the He-Man and She-Ra Power Sword on the sides of the TV, it really means a lot to me. If I had that sword growing up as a kid, oh my goodness, I would have spent hours just playing and playing and playing. Like, if I was to ever have something at the side of the TV, it would definitely be this.
Yeah, it's an awesome setup.
Okay, so all of this here is Skylanders, and about halfway down, it starts to become amiibos. So this was actually like the first gen, second gen of Skylanders, that sort of thing. Up to like, a lot of the games, there's not even a missing one. And then there's amiibos at the bottom, also no missing ones as well. These were actually like in like a box, like kind of like, I don't know, like it was really hard for my son to find the Skylanders that he wanted, so it took a lot of brainstorming into how I wanted these displayed for him. And I actually found these at IKEA, so I actually thought it was so cool. And I actually started putting like some of my action figures on these things, man. They're really great.
Yeah, they look awesome. I was gonna collect amiibos at one time too, man. I love Super Smash Bros. Yeah, I love that game.
You know what about the amiibos, man? The Skylanders, I would part with them. Like if like somebody wanted to buy them or something like that, I could see myself selling them. But the amiibos, yeah, like with, you know what? We'll talk about it later. I don't want to talk about it now because it's gonna spoil something that I want to talk about later. Okay, so here is my custom-made 4-player arcade cabinet. So it is Marvel vs. Capcom, which you can see at the front. It can play all sorts of games. We have on the joysticks, we have Ken, Ryu, Akuma, and Chun-Li. And this is artwork actually picked all by me. A lot of the stuff was photoshopped by me. And I'm really happy with it, man. I know like there's only 3 seats there, but there's actually 4 now. So anybody who wants to hit up some gaming and wants to take on me and Chris, we accept your challenge.
Omar's talking out his butt cheeks right now because I've challenged him a million times in Super Smash Bros. He does not want to see me in the one-on-one.
I don't want to see you in a one-on-one, and I said whoever wants to challenge me and Chris. Listen, guys, I'm old. By the time like Chris does all his combos on me and I'm like off the screen, I'm gonna finally press B. I'll be like, what happened? Alright, so this is my Zelda collection here. A lot of you guys would know this one by First Four Figures. A lot of people are searching for this one. I've actually had people message me, Chris, asking me if they can buy this from my collection.
That's Link on Epona.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's an awesome statue. There's like two versions. No, there's like a gold or bronze, and then you have the fully painted one.
exactly. Well, the fully painted one to me just shows the detail. So let's see if we have any more pictures here. Sword art online, and like I told you guys, we have pictures running all the top of the wall. Um, and then we have like, some more Masters of the Universe here. And some more Masters of the Universe showing in detail just how far along it runs. And Batman the Animated Series. And some more DC figures running at the top of the wall. I just find that this is a great way to utilize space rather than just, not display it very well, or actually just put it all along the wall here and that sort of stuff. But like other things can go here, so why not use this space up here? This is just waste.
It took you ages to pin all that stuff on the walls, huh?
It did, but you know what? When it's all done and I get to kind of like just admire it, it's worth it.
I hear you.
So maybe some guys can even get like some ideas what they want to do. And maybe...
Honestly speaking, how often do you find yourself in your cave? Like how much time a day do you spend in there?
Honestly, on a daily basis, not very much. But when I'm due, I always have a smile on my face, man. Just because of work and everything, I can't visit my cave all the time.
Yeah.
But when I do, like, there's not a moment that comes by where it's like, okay, I'm just going to go game. I always have to just quickly glance at something and then game. So it definitely was worth it above and beyond, man. Okay, so I believe that we're done here for now on my collection. We are pretty much at an hour point. I think we should stop here since we just kind of like just featured my collection and we kind of reviewed it in detail, and we can start another video on the other stuff that we wanted to discuss. Is that okay with you?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So thank you guys very much for watching. This video was just basically based on my featured collection and the fact that I was featured on Sideshow. Thank you all those that messaged me and gave me like love, respect, support, that sort of thing. It encourages me to just keep on wanting to collect. And yeah, thank you very much, you guys.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Peace.